Okay, so now it's warming up. Warm it up. Like it's like a microwave or something, right?
Hey,
you know, or like you have food in the oven. It's like it's warming up. It's like, no, this is technology. It doesn't take time to warm up. As soon as you click live, it just goes live. It doesn't need time to actually warm up. So, all right. So, welcome to episode two of 2019. I can't believe it's 2019.
Man, time flies.
Time flies. It sure does. Jeez, I still remember like summer, and I remember it being October, November, and we still had summer.
Wait for river weather, man.
Well, like I said, welcome to episode 2 of the Qierre Show of 2019. I'm your host, realtor, and author of the Blueprint to Successfully Selling Your Home, Qierre, known today as MCQ, and my guest, a friend of mine, always a pleasure to have him on the show, reverse mortgage specialist, Mr. Social Guy, talks to everybody, friends with everybody. Please welcome Jeff Krosky, a.k.a. Notorious J.E.F.F.K. How are you today?
I'm here. I'm enjoying life, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Now, I promised the great people out there that we would have a rap battle part 2. And because we're going to keep it a little corporate today, obviously we are dressed proper because we can have fun and still do business at the same time. And we're going to prove that to you today. So, since you are the guest on the show, I'll allow you to go first.
Whoa. So I'm here with Qierre at Realty One. He makes buying and selling a lot of fun. He'll list your house and sell it at a blink of an eye. So give him a call because he's all the way live.
All right. There you go. There you go.
Give it back, man.
All right. I guess I give it back to him. Okay. All right. Well, class is in session, so please sit down and pay attention. I'm only going to say this once, so take notes and listen. When it comes to reverse mortgages, there's no one better. My boy Jeff K over here will make sure his old school clients get a lot of cheddar. And when it comes to buying and selling real estate, I'm here and I do my best. If you don't believe me, please put me to the test. I strive for excellence. My pursuit is perfection. I never stop learning. I always move on to the next lesson. This is episode 2. We have plenty more shows to do. I appreciate all your likes, comments, and shares. So make sure you stay tuned.
And there. I like it. I like it.
All right. So obviously, like I said, when it comes to reverse mortgages, you are the man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So let us know, because obviously a lot of people probably heard the term reverse mortgage, but what is actually a reverse mortgage?
Well, a reverse mortgage is a program that allows seniors to actually stay in their home, whether they have a current mortgage on their home now or their house is free and clear. One way or another, what it does is it allows them to either take cash out with a free and clear property or eliminate a payment or defer that payment until they either A, sell the home, or the last one in the house passes away. Okay. Simple as that.
Now, we say last one passes away. Like, do they have to be like a certain age?
Well, husband and wife. Typically, the age to get a reverse mortgage, minimum age is age 62.
So make sure you guys heard that.
62.
Age 62. So make sure, because we're going to ask you a question at the end so you can enter a drawing to win a $10 Starbucks gift card. Age 62.
62 is the number.
Okay.
So the way that it works is one of the individuals in the house has to be at least 62. The spouse, not necessarily.
Okay.
And that's changed. The program has changed. It used to have a bad rap. The reason it had that bad rap is because back in the day, if you had a senior that was 62 and a spouse that wasn't, they would take that spouse off the title. And when the older spouse passed away, the younger spouse would have to actually sell that property or refinance. Well, with the spouse loss, so goes the retirement or income or a portion of it. And the person that's living doesn't have the money to refinance that house.
Right.
So they're on the street. So that has since changed, and it's called the non-borrowing spouse. So with FHA coming in, the Federal Housing Administration, coming in to handle the reverse mortgage, which is now the home equity conversion mortgage.
Now, when you say FHA, are you saying reverse mortgages can only qualify for houses that are FHA or properties?
Well, that's a very good question, which leads into the next thing. You're one jump ahead of me, but that's okay. FHA, the Federal Housing Administration, just raised their home limit here in Orange County to $726,525, and that's up from $679,650. So what that means is, if there was an individual that had $1 million home here in Orange County, the maximum value FHA would give them is the $726,525.
Oh, okay.
Now, out of that value, even though it's worth more, but out of that value, based on their age, the older they are, the more equity that they can get. In a nutshell, it's about 50% of the value of that home. And the maximum value for FHA now is $726,525.
Okay, so you said 50%, up to 50%, or the max
of the value of that home.
Okay, yeah.
So what that allows is it allows that equity situation, so that, because the question I get a lot is, will I ever owe more on my home than my home is worth?
Well, that's a very good question, right? Because when you have a reverse mortgage, do you still pay a mortgage, or what do you do?
Well, with this particular program, you can either make a payment if you want to.
Okay.
And it would eliminate, or not eliminate, but defer the interest that you're paying, or what would add up. Because what's going on is there's interest being paid every year, but it's being deferred to the end of the loan.
Okay.
Now, what offsets the interest on the loan is the appreciation.
Oh.
So
that's it. Okay.
The appreciation here in the real world.
Yeah. So let's stay right there for a second. So give us some examples. That's a good thing there.
Well, nationwide FHA uses a number of about 4%. So here in California, appreciation rate is a lot greater, but let's just use a 4% rate.
Okay.
When I show what's called an amortization table to the kids, to the family, to my clients,
right,
to show them what they're going to owe in 10 years or 20 years, and what's the house going to be worth in that time,
right, it
is still generally, based on a 4% increase, it's generally still about 50% of the value of the home is equity still available.
Now, obviously, like you said, with the home value increasing, would you be able to do like some type of like recalculation or something? Like, for instance, let's say when they started the reverse mortgage, the house was worth, let's say, $500,000, and then maybe 15 years from then, or 20 years, it's worth $1 million. So would they be able to say, okay, well, since our house has doubled what it was when we started a reverse mortgage, can we like recalculate?
I already have clients calling me because the people are hearing that the FHA increased their value. So people are already calling to find out. Yes is the answer to your question, if it makes sense. And there's an acquisition module that we use. It's called Reverse Vision, and we plug in all the information based on the age, the value, and so forth, what they owe, and the new value of the property. So the answer is yes, they could potentially get a new loan, more cash out if it made sense.
Now, is there like a limit in terms of like how much you can get at like one time?
Well, let me rephrase that question. Two things. Number one, if you get a reverse mortgage, you have to have 18 months in before you can refinance again.
Okay.
Okay, number one. The amount of money that you can get is dependent upon the value of the property, what you currently owe, and your age. Does that answer any questions? Did that answer the question?
Well, yeah, I was just talking about in terms of like if someone wanted like some type of like lump sum or something of the money, like they wouldn't be able to do that. They would have to.
Well, another thing that has changed recently is something that's called financial assessment.
Okay.
And financial assessment is now us documenting their Social Security and pension, calculating the fact that they would have enough money to make their property tax payments, their insurance payments, their homeowners association payments. So that's an important part of this equation as well. So based on their age, their value, and what they owe, it's a calculation through a thing called reverse mortgage.
Okay.
Reverse vision.
Yeah. Now, obviously, with the reverse mortgage, what other things can you use a reverse mortgage for?
Well, different people use it for different things.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client, her husband had passed away. He had children, and he wanted the children to have money from his estate. The money was in the home.
Okay.
So she got the reverse mortgage
mm-hmm.
because she wanted to give them the money while she was alive.
Oh, okay.
So she wanted to enjoy helping those kids while they were alive. So different people use the program for different reasons. Some people are just struggling with their income. They're on a fixed income. They'll call me and say, hey, Jeff, we're on a fixed income, but we run out of money on the third week of every month.
Mm.
And I say this all the time because it's a reoccurring thing that happens day in and day out. I just had a client, it was a referral from a tax professional. He lives in the local area, Anaheim. Mm-hmm. He gets $2,500 a month in retirement. She gets $1,000. But between their first mortgage and their line of credit on their home, it's $2,000 a month.
Mm.
They've got to pay that that's before they eat.
Yeah.
So that's not including the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance, and keep the lights on and the trash, and then you've got food.
Groceries, yeah, you have to eat. Absolutely.
So
and maybe health insurance too. Yeah.
We're going to be able to eliminate their payments, which would be what, $24,000 a year that they can keep in their own pockets.
Wow.
So it's just, for some people, it's just living out their golden years a little bit easier.
Yeah. Now, when you talked about being able to, like that couple, the lady, she was actually able to take money out and give it to her kids. Now, let's say if someone, like, would you actually be able to use, like, a reverse mortgage if you wanted to help, like, your kids with, like, buying a house, like, for, like, a down payment, things like that? Because, obviously, you know, being in Orange County, you know, the affordability, you know, it's definitely, you know, not in a good place for a lot of first-time home buyers.
Well, we see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can, number one, the answer to your question is you can take money out and use it for any reason.
Oh, okay.
It's not taxable because it's not a loan. It's not income, it's a loan. So not taxable,
mm-hmm.
doesn't affect your income, your Social Security, your pension.
That's great.
It doesn't affect any of that, and it's not taxable.
Wow. Okay. Now, so let's say if you wanted to give your kids maybe like $30,000 or whatever for their down payment. Now, you haven't filed for a reverse mortgage yet, but if they sit down with you, Jeff, and said, hey, we just want to take, like $30,000 out of our house to help our child with, like a down payment. Now, when they start the process, do they have to continuously be like on a reverse mortgage? Well, yeah, I guess so, right?
Well, yeah. Once you get into a reverse mortgage,
mm-hmm.
It's just like any other loan.
Right.
And it's not a 15, it's not a 30, it's a lifetime loan. So people ask, is it a 30-year loan? No, it's a lifetime loan.
Yeah.
So live to be 130. Great goal.
Oh, man. I see those centurions like doing all those marathons and all that kind of stuff. It's like, hey,
things are changing.
Absolutely, people are living longer. With
60 is the new 50.
I'll say 60 is the new 40.
Oh,
now people give us some credit. 60 is the new 40, absolutely, for sure. Yeah. So like you said, with the reverse mortgage, you can like take money out. Obviously, you can help yourself out, financially, paying for things like that too. If you want to help people like with your kids or family members and things like that, you also have the ability to do that. So is there like a certain cap in terms of like an age where it's like, hey, you no longer can get a reverse mortgage?
No, my oldest client is 100 years old.
Wow.
And he's been very, very affluent his whole life. He owned numerous ice cream companies, and I can't say which. But when I asked him why he's getting a reverse mortgage, he said, Jeff, I gave away millions of dollars, and I never thought that I would outlive my money. So,
wow.
Because I always ask why, and how is this going to help you?
Mm-hmm.
I had a client down in Mission Viejo, and she was struggling with her bills. And so in our conversation, I asked, do you have any kids, local kids that can help you? And she said, yeah, my son owns his own company. He's very successful. In fact, he's CEO of his own company, bought a yacht, and she was very proud of him.
Oh, wow.
And I thought maybe we can bring him in the loop. And after hearing of his success, I said, you know, maybe you don't need this loan. Maybe all he needs to know is that you're struggling. And she said, no, I've never been on the boat. So
wow,
she's proud of him. They just don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know what it is. Maybe she doesn't want to let him know that she is struggling.
Yeah. I mean, that can be a big thing. I mean, I think pride, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people, I would say probably the majority of people won't ever, doesn't like to let other people know they need help or they're struggling. You know what I mean? So I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
And that's nice to have a program like the reverse mortgage where it can actually help people.
Yeah.
Especially, the thing is too, I mean, when you retire, it's not like you're going to be getting any type of raises anytime soon or any promotions. You're on a fixed income.
And when an emergency comes up, somebody's emergency savings account oftentimes is whatever they have left over on the Visa card.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then every day is a Saturday, and that can be dangerous, because obviously when you work, it's like, hey, you don't have time to maybe go out to this vacation here or go to a restaurant here or go to the movies or doing a lot of fun things because, like, hey, I have work from 8 to 5, Monday to Fridays or whatever your schedule is. So I think, for a lot of people, when they retire, it's kind of like, what do I do with my time? You know what I mean? Like, there's no that structure, that discipline anymore, and it's nice to have a program where you have a reverse mortgage where you can actually supplement the income that you lost when you were working full time. Because, a lot of people, like I said, there's not a lot of businesses out there that do pensions anymore or, things like that.
Yeah, pensions are a thing of the past, I think.
Yeah, and the only income you have is Social Security. And what's an average rate of Social Security? Maybe that's $1,200, $1,600 maybe?
Yeah, $1,400 would be on the high side for...
Right, exactly. And you going from a person making maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a month and going from that's a huge difference.
Well, I had a client recently tell me, she said, we budget the gas we put in our car. We're on a budget for the electric and all the things right down the line that she was sharing with me that they're budgeted for. And when something goes wrong, so we made the reverse mortgage, and she was able to get new tires on the motorhome that they had in the driveway. And then they drove to Kansas to see the grandkids that they've never met before in person.
Oh, wow.
I felt good about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
It was nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, so now to kind of piggyback on what you said about the, you're getting your monthly, the monthly amount. Like, so for clarification, how do you determine that? Like to get the monthly reverse mortgage?
Well, I got to tell you, in the last probably 5 years, I don't think I've had anybody that's opted for a monthly income. Most of the people that I've done loans for have opted to get a line of credit.
Okay. And
then manage that line of credit themselves.
So line of credit, is it like a card or something? Or?
Well, here's how it works.
Yeah.
Say, for instance, if you had a mortgage on the house, we would pay off the current mortgage to eliminate that payment.
Right.
There would be, depending upon your age, there would be money left over, depending upon the value of the property, what you owe, the age of the individual. So it's a calculation in reverse vision, which is the software that we use. So we calculate that. A portion of the income, a portion of the money, they're able to get right on the spot, right when we close. And then a year later, the remaining portion of that money, and it's divided up.
Divided up to?
It's divided up based on age, value, and what they owe.
Okay.
The remaining monies that they can get. So a portion of it they can get right up front when we close their loan, and the remaining portion they can access a year later.
Now, when you say portion, is it like a certain percentage? Like, do you normally the first portion is like no more than 20% or something like that? Or
you know what? Right off the top of my head, the calculations are all different.
Oh, okay.
So if you said that fundamentally there's one one way to calculate it, but everybody's different.
Right.
So generally, when people call in, if we know a birth date, value of the home, what they currently owe, we're able to calculate it through reverse vision, and we can tell them exactly to their needs, tailored exactly to their needs, exactly what they'd be qualifying for.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of good information. Absolutely. So like reverse mortgage. I mean, I'm trying to think. Is there like a certain time where you think a person really should look into getting a reverse mortgage? Like, I mean, do you think it would be kind of like a thing that most people should check out?
Well, if they've got the equity, it just allows them maybe a little bit less stress in their lives.
Okay.
So, I had a husband and wife that called me, and their house was in foreclosure. And we were able to stop the foreclosure, and we were actually able to make the loan and document. They had some things that went bad. Things that went bad were loss of job, bad health. In fact, the husband was in the hospital when we signed the loan docs.
Oh, wow.
He had a blood infection. And so they signed the loan docs in the hospital on a Friday night. And on Monday, I get a call from his wife. And Earl wasn't doing good. And I knew it. And Linda calls me on Monday, and I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, did we lose Earl? And she calls me, and she goes, Earl's doing great.
Yeah.
And ever since we saved the house, signed the loan docs, and he knew that his wife was going to be safe, I think he was stressing out, and that was creating whatever illness he had.
Yeah. And
through getting the loan signed, notarized, 3 days later, Earl's getting better, and God bless America. It's true. Stress does kill.
Well, absolutely, for sure.
So is there a better time? Is one time better than another? Everybody's needs are a little different. I had a husband and wife that just called me, and the husband said, you know what? I'm 87. I get $1,000 a month in Social Security. My wife gets $300. We have a mortgage payment. If we can get this reverse mortgage, if anything happens to me, is my wife safe? And the answer was yes, because she would get his Social Security, the greater of the two.
Right. And
then she has no mortgage payment. So I don't know if anyone could live on $1,000 a month. They live out in the desert, but it's not as expensive to live there as it is here in Orange County. That's for sure.
Yeah. So with that, they're getting money out of the reverse mortgage. It's not just stopping their payment; they're getting money too.
They're getting a line of credit as well.
Okay. Perfect.
But then there's another scenario that I had from a financial advisor in Los Angeles, and we did a loan for his client, and she is 64 years old, still working, lost her husband.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So she makes $2,700 a month, but the mortgage payment was $15,000.
Jeez.
So the advisor has her working for the next 2 years, so that when she's 66, she can get the maximum Social Security.
Right.
So the next 24 months, she's going to save the $1,500 a month in a savings account.
Okay.
And then at age 66, she can get her Social Security. She'll have $36,000 saved in a little nest egg and never have to make a payment again. So I guess it tells me it's never too late to have a plan.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, like you said, the importance too. I mean, obviously, stress, it can definitely affect a lot of people, medically and everything like that. So, I mean, when it comes to reverse mortgage and you having equity in your home, I mean, it seems like it'd be, a great idea to be able to draw from it. I mean, you purchased this home, you lived in it, you maintained it, you use the funds that you have the ability to receive. I mean, why live on a strapped budget, that creates a lot of stress? And like you said, I mean, like if he passed away, what was she going to do? So I mean, that's definitely inside, so thinking of it from that perspective is like, hey, if you are in that situation when you are retiring and your income is changing and, and you're really in that situation, or hey, you know what? You have all this equity in your house and you just want to be able to maybe go on more trips, maybe be able to help your family out if you want to, and not have to stress about your monthly payment. I mean, reverse mortgage is definitely a tool that will be able to help you, and it's something that you benefit from. It's something that it's like a reward for what you did. You purchased a house. You know, you maintained it, you kept it, it got equity because of the payments you made and everything like that, and also with appreciation. So.
Well, there used to be a stigma that was negative,
mm-hmm.
and the negative things have been taken out of the picture through FHA,
right?
Federal Housing Administration, and then there is a counseling session. Once I educate the clients, there's an over-the-phone counseling session that's required by FHA
mm-hmm.
to make sure that I've done my job to explain the program to the people in a way that they understand it.
Absolutely.
And that way no one can say I never knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
I had a senior that came to me, and we did a loan for him. And when I asked him why, he said, you know, I'm still able to walk and get around, and he likes to do cruises. Single man, likes to do cruises.
What's wrong with that? I love cruises.
He says no payment. I don't have a payment anymore. And I think he gets a bunch of discount perks because he's a single guy.
Yeah.
I think the women want to dance with him on the cruise ship.
Hey, why not? He's got that reverse mortgage money.
He says, I want to get out while I'm still able-bodied, and I can.
Absolutely.
So it's a good reason.
Absolutely. I like that, man. Because it's like, you know, like you worked a long time and now you know you get to enjoy life. Why wait till you're down to your last dollar when you're actually struggling for help? Yeah. You know what I mean? I love that.
Get the plan.
Exactly. Get the plan. I like that. I like that.
Now the other thing
mm-hmm.
is I brought a brochure, and this is the reverse mortgage for purchase. So,
yes.
Now what's happening more and more?
Mm-hmm.
We've got husband and wife. The kids are gone.
Right.
Mine's not gone yet. He's close. But husband and wife, kids are gone
mm-hmm.
out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got the big home. You know, in our area, I just did a loan they just moved out of Yorba
mm-hmm.
from the big house, moved out to the desert. So the way that the reverse mortgage for purchase works is they're selling the bigger house.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a nest egg of money. They're paying off their loan there. And with this purchase, they can actually downsize, put about 50% down on the new purchase,
mm-hmm.
and then never make a payment again.
Oh, okay.
Now, just like the refinance, they're
mm-hmm.
still responsible for homeowners association. They're responsible for their property taxes and homeowners
right.
insurance, but there's no more payment. When I say no more payment, it's deferred.
Mm-hmm.
So it's deferred till the last one passes away.
Right.
Or they sell the house. They can sell that house at any time because there's no prepayment penalties on these loans.
Yeah.
So anytime they want to sell, they can.
That's great. Yeah.
So more and more of this is happening, and it's a good thing because you know, a lot of times if somebody gets injured,
mm-hmm.
can't handle the maintenance on a big property.
Well, absolutely, for sure. Or they just don't need that much space anymore. You know what I mean? They have a big 2-story house, or maybe they have health conditions and they can't go up and down the stairs. I mean, you know, absolutely. I mean, one of the things I love about this program is that, you know, like I was raised in a generation where we respect our elders. You know, whatever our elders told us what to do, we did it. You know, and for me, and I love this program because it's definitely a program for elders. So obviously you have to be age 62, remember that, age 62 to qualify. So I love when there's programs out there that help, you know, people that are older, you know, because I mean, yeah, it's the reason why we get to have these things in this country. I mean, well, you know, the great generation and everything like that.
It's the baby boomers.
The baby boomers also. Yeah, well, yeah, great generation is a little above you guys, right? So baby boomers, yes, absolutely.
It is what it is.
Yes. So, yes, like I said, I definitely get information. Obviously, you know, if you want to contact Jeff, you can definitely put his information here on the post. So you have any questions for him, you can feel free to ask him. And as we said before, there's a question. How old do you have to be to qualify for a reverse mortgage? Enter your answer here to enter a drawing to win a $10 Starbucks gift card. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. As always, we appreciate your comments, your likes, your shares. This video will be saved, so you can always replay it. You can share it. You can comment. You can do whatever you want with it. You can play it as many times as you like because it will be here. So, again, thank you, Jeff, for taking time out of your day to be with us, to educate us on the reverse mortgage, the ability to take money out, use it for any type of expenses, or to even purchase a property as well. So,
well, thank you very much. So, in closing, I'm with Citizens Lending Group, and I'm here to say I do reverse mortgages every day, eliminating payments. We give cash out too. All of my clients are over 62. So if you know a senior that needs a buck, have them give me a call because they're in luck. You were waiting for that.
I love
one.
that,
Oh,
man.
my.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, all right. As always, appreciate your comments, likes, and shares. Have a great weekend. Do something fun this weekend. And
stay dry.
Oh, yeah, stay dry, too. Yeah, it's supposed to rain.
It's supposed to rain.
All right, you guys take care.
Bye-bye.